The crypto market is waking up again today, and it's getting exciting. Just take a look. The total market cap across all cryptocurrencies is pushing toward $4.1 trillion, which means we're brushing right up against all-time high territory. XRP? Sure, it's up slightly over the last day, less than 1%, but I can't see it staying there for long. I've gathered insights from 9 different XRP chart analysts, including one who's boldly predicting a 600% surge to around $27 per coin. Now, I'm not saying that's guaranteed, but I will say it's far from an impossible scenario. In my opinion, it's absolutely within the realm of reasonable speculation. On top of that, 2 well-respected analysts have declared that alt season is officially here. I'm talking about Crypto Insight, UK, and Crypto's RS. Now, whether or not you personally agree, I'm not even 100% sure I do. You'll probably notice more analysts jumping on that train soon enough. The funny thing is, there's no single universal test for calling out season. There's no central authority saying, yes, these are the rules, which is why you often see people debating it. But whether we've crossed the line already, or are just about to, we're in that phase where coins can suddenly go wild for no apparent reason. And I have an example of exactly that today. This type of thing almost never happens outside of these market conditions, where price moves become completely unpredictable in the best way possible. Honestly, this is a thrilling moment to be in crypto, and an especially exciting time to be holding XRP. The setup for a massive rally is there. Quick reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. I have zero professional finance background, and nothing I say should be taken as financial advice. I just love talking about crypto as a hobby and sharing my thoughts for fun. As I'm recording this, it's 2:11 p.m. Central Time, Wednesday, August 13th, 2025. XRP is sitting at $3.27, comfortably above the $3 mark without breaking a sweat. It's the kind of level that long-time XRP holders have dreamed about for years, even through the SEC lawsuit. Seeing it hold this price so casually? That's a beautiful sight. Ethereum is trading at $4,725. Whether you like it or not, it's worth paying attention to. And yes, I hold some, though it's not my biggest position. ETH came within striking distance of a new all-time high today, just $123 shy. Remember when Ether was dead a few months ago at $1,400? Yeah, that was nonsense. Now it's primed for a huge breakout, and I wouldn't be shocked if it pushes toward $10,000 this cycle. If Ether runs like that, it could set the stage for XRP to challenge Ethereum for the number 2 spot in market cap, which would mean $20 plus XRP. I'm not saying it's a sure thing, but it's definitely not far-fetched. Historically, big Ethereum rallies kick off alt seasons, and that's exactly the kind of action we're seeing now. Bitcoin, currently at $121,833, up just over 2% today. It's steady, but we're likely to see one last massive parabolic move before it starts cooling off. Here's a chart from Postal Chart Analyst showing Bitcoin's dominance percentage, and honestly, I love what I'm seeing. This is exactly the kind of confirmation you want if you're hoping for a true alt season. He points out something huge. The monthly MACD for Bitcoin dominance just made a bearish cross. According to him, the last times this happened were in 2017 and 2020 to 2021, and both of those moments kicked off the biggest altcoin seasons we've ever seen. He calls it a major signal, and I have to say I completely agree. Right here on the MACD, you can spot that small red candle forming. If you look back at the historical chart, which spans roughly a decade, you'll notice a pattern. Once this cross appears, the downtrend in dominance tends to continue month after month. Each of those candles represents a month, and it's the exact setup we've seen in past cycles. So here we are, another repeating signal, lining up perfectly with everything else pointing toward alt season. Right now, Bitcoin dominance has slipped to 59.56%. That's after steadily climbing ever since bottoming out back in early September 2022. Nearly 3 years of upward movement. But now, that run looks finished. It peaked near 66% and has started dropping hard. And soon, it's going to look like it just fell straight off a cliff. This is exactly the type of move you want to see if you're rooting for out season. Mustache also shared another key chart. This time, it's the Total 2 chart, which tracks the market cap of the top 125 crypto assets, excluding Bitcoin. In other words, everything else in the market. He calls this probably the biggest signal you can get for altcoins. Why? Because Total 2 is on the verge of smashing its 2021 highs while also breaking out of a multi-year pattern. It's giving off 2016, 2017 vibes all over again. And honestly, I couldn't agree more. We're entering a moment where the market could go absolutely insane, and XRP is perfectly positioned to benefit. Whether you're talking large caps or even the top 100 coins, XRP is set to be one of the biggest winners in this next phase. After everything XRP holders have endured over the last half-decade, it feels like it's finally our turn. Chart analyst Mikey Bull Crypto also weighed in, saying the parabolic phase toward Bitcoin's cycle top is just about to kick off. The analysts I follow all agree that we're about to see one last explosive rally in Bitcoin. They just differ on the exact target, whether it's $130,000, $150,000, $170,000, or $180,000. But where they don't disagree is that this final surge is coming, and that's where the real, life-changing opportunity lies. Not because of Bitcoin itself, but because of what it triggers across the altcoin market. And speaking of out-season behavior, here's the example I teased earlier. Chart analyst Stone pointed out what happened with OKB, a jaw-dropping 200% move in just 50 minutes. That's the kind of insane price action you almost only see in out-season. In fact, if you count them alongside the others, that makes 3 respected analysts I follow now, saying we're already in out-season. And looking at this chart, it's hard to argue. Here's a look at a live chart. This coin is ranked number 40 by market cap right now. If you zoom in on the 24-hour chart, it's nothing but sideways movement until it suddenly takes off like a rocket. That's pure out-season energy, even if you don't want to officially call it out-season yet. In the early stages, this is exactly the kind of random price explosion you tend to see. And it's rare to witness this type of action outside of those periods. Sure, I've seen exceptions before, like back in the summer of 2019. That wasn't a bull market by any stretch. The bottom came at the end of 2018, and prices were still recovering. But I remember Chainlink suddenly mooning out of nowhere that summer. Moments like that do happen, but not often. Right now, we're seeing it more frequently, and it's not just one coin doing it. Ethereum is within striking distance of an all-time high. Binance Coin has already hit a fresh all-time high this cycle. And of course, XRP has done it too. This is exactly the environment where you should expect coins to randomly fire off. Credible Crypto posted recently about XRP, saying he's still in his long position. After a small market-wide dip, XRP dropped into the ideal entry zone he'd marked earlier. His take was simple. As long as that green zone holds, we can aim for the range high and a new all-time high. While that post was from August 11th, and price has moved since, his key level was right around $3. We're comfortably above that now, sitting at $3.27 as I started recording. I'll take that any day. Holding above this level sets us up to target new highs, $3.65. Here we come. Dark Defender also chimed in, saying XRP is ready for action. On the daily chart, his critical breakout level is $3.33, a price many analysts have been highlighting lately. His targets? $4.44 and $5.85. With the RSI more bullish than ever, his message to the XRP Army: your time is here. Enjoy the show, and believe me, I am. Then there's Ali Martinez, who posted this morning that XRP's bullish retest is complete, with $3.60 back in play. Yesterday, he reminded everyone that the multi-year triangle breakout in November 2024 put his long-term bullish target at $12.60. Personally, I'd call that a massive win if it happens. Sure, some expect higher, but going from 28 cents at the cycle bottom to $12.60 would be an over 30x gain for a large cap coin. That's insane. It's the kind of move that can completely change lives. Finally, Cryptolica continues to double down on his call for $10 XRP. He's been consistent about this target, and he's convinced we're heading for double digits. Chart analyst Bark is making some bold calls. Bitcoin at $180,000, XRP at $25, and Ethereum at $9,000. If that kind of move played out, the amount of capital flooding into crypto would be enormous. Honestly, if ETH reached $9,000, it wouldn't be far-fetched for XRP to approach $20, especially since there's historical precedent for XRP matching Ethereum's market cap. Not a guarantee, but definitely realistic to speculate it could happen this cycle, and with the cycle nearing its end. That means sooner rather than later. Greg Crypto had a post that made me laugh. XRP, yet some are still bearish. Imagine that. We're consolidating on the 2-week chart, right at all-time highs, but there are still traders doubting it. Sentiment really can cloud judgment. His target? $27 XRP, which from $3.27 would be just over a 600% jump. Nobody can predict the future, but like I always say, that's not a crazy scenario. Yesterday, KC Trades shared that XRP pushed back above $3.21 after briefly dipping under $3.17. While it was disappointing to see support give way, price quickly found a floor at the golden retracement pocket, the 0.65 level, which, in Elliott wave theory, often marks a wave 2 bottom. She pointed out that $3.11 was the final level to protect bullish momentum, because falling below $3.10 would have invalidated the structure by entering wave 1 territory. Thankfully, XRP held strong and has since bounced back, reclaiming that $3.21 resistance. And of course, as you've seen, XRP is now sitting higher at $3.27, which makes this an incredibly clean short-term move. Casey added that trading volume is steadily increasing as price holds this level, which often signals that a breakout could be just around the corner. In Elliott wave terms, a wave 2 retracement frequently sets the stage for a strong wave 3 impulse, and with price respecting the golden pocket, the setup looks solid for another leg higher. And here's the thing, this isn't just one analyst's opinion. Lately, I've been seeing post after post from multiple respected chart watchers all saying the same thing. XRP looks ready to run. When this many independent analysts line up with the same call, they're usually right. I went over a bunch of examples in yesterday's video showing this exact consensus forming. I wouldn't be surprised if they're spot on again this time, and that the move happens soon. Casey also stressed that the macro targets are still intact despite recent volatility. Multiple extension levels are clustering in the $4.60, $4.80 range, creating a strong confluence zone. For confirmation of a fresh all-time high, we need to break $3.66, the previous peak. In the meantime, local resistance sits at $3.41, the 0.118 Fibonacci level, and then at $3.66, before that bigger $4.80 target comes into play. The kind of wave 3 breakout she's describing isn't slow or tentative. It's sharp, decisive, and backed by heavy volume. Support right now is holding at $3.21, and keeping above that level is key to sustaining bullish momentum. Overall, respecting the golden retracement and seeing volume build gives strong reason to believe a big move could be imminent. Chart analyst Galaxy agrees, posting that XRP will surprise many as it consolidates near its old all-time high, and that it's nearly time to resume the bull run. CryptoWizard echoed the bullish sentiment, noting that XRP closed strong against Bitcoin and could print another healthy candle soon. On the XRP BTC chart, there's an inverse head and shoulders pattern forming on the daily, which is a classic bullish structure. Translation: XRP isn't finished outperforming Bitcoin this cycle. It's already humbled BTC once, and it's ready to do it again. much to the frustration of toxic Bitcoin maximalists, which frankly, I enjoy watching. Meanwhile, Bitcoin itself is pushing higher, $122,383 as I wrap this up, within striking distance of its widely accepted ETH, a bit over $123,000, though exact numbers vary depending on exchange data. Ethereum is close to its own ETH as well, and XRP remains in a great position, even without a huge 24-hour move. This is exactly the kind of market structure you want to see if you're hoping for an alt season. Whether we're already in it, as some analysts say, or just about to cross the line, all the ingredients are here.